How to turn rock bottom into a comeback, and this works for anything. My name is Poppy. I'm a psychologist, psychotherapist and coach, and I've worked for 30 years globally with all kinds of people. I'm unaffiliated. I work for you. I'll tell you what 2 different people told me when I was in the pit of hell. One of the times. However, I've used this method ever since. Firstly, one said, a loving interaction, build a bridge and get over yourself. That worked for me in the current state because I trusted him. And what he meant was ego. Me, all about me, what I don't have, what I've lost, what I'll never get back. Ego. It looks to protect us. However, it's psychic and everything attack. The inner critic. So here's what my other coach told me. I reached out to him and said, I'm really depressed. And I was fearing going into a suicidal depression again. And he said, I'm looking at your Facebook feed and I don't see you giving. And I was like, oh, gut punch number 2. I was really in trouble. And he said, Poppy, are you meditating? And I said, no. And he said, are you exercising? And I said, no. And he said, are you growing? Is there anything you're doing to grow, spiritual need? I said, no. And he said, well, you're not contributing. I can see you online. And I said, well, oh, boo me. I don't feel I can get online and speak. I can barely, cognitive disruption in a big way. I'm not sure this is going to be helpful for people. And he said, well, you think many people aren't feeling what you're feeling? Chronic, severe and enduring stress. 50% of people say they have no meaning. And a lot of people say, particularly men, I can only count one person, if that, who is a friend. And what I mean by that is someone who keeps things in the vault and they speak authentically, meaning truthfully, without edit, to that person. That's devastating. We're flipping tribal. We're on planet Earth. We think we can do things alone. We're on the wrong planet for that, my friends. What I did, and I was lucky enough to do it, fortunate enough, I went for a run. And if you're anything like me, the last thing you do when you're feeling like you're going into rock bottom, whether you get hungover or overwhelmed or panic attacks and so on, you don't feel like it. However, we get to move. We've got to move our body to change our physiology. At the very least, if you're lucky enough to be able-bodied, stand, power pose. 2 minutes, stand like Superman, Superwoman with your chest out. People get jobs, I can't say it enough, that are underqualified above people who are overqualified through power pose. It changes our mindset. So I went for a run. I was in California. I was told by doctors you can never run again because I had patella femoral syndrome, so they said. So I went for a run, stubborn me, on concrete, and I was crying within seconds. And what happened with me is I heard my inner dialogue that wasn't this sadistic attack. It was, have you forgotten who you are, Poppy? Have you forgotten what you've been through? Have you forgotten what you've overcome? I'm sure I can speak direct to your heart. If you're surviving still on planet Earth now, through all you would have been through, you're human. This is not easy stuff. Please don't forget who you are, or remember who you are. And I started to cry and I thought, bugger it. And I did a pre-record. I used to do a lot of lives on Facebook. I did a pre-record just in case it was totally inappropriate, crying after a 10-minute run. And I said, this is me doing life. I'm in trouble. However, this is what I just did. Went for a run, moved my body. Now I'm going to meditate and go back to, success principles, billionaire success principles for thriving, because I don't want to go back into this hideous spiral of hell again. I was just there 10 minutes ago. So watch me online. And for 5 days I did similar. I went for a run and I, went live actually. And a lot of people got a lot from it. When we're ready, we're ready. When it's bad enough, we change. And usually not until it's bad enough. So I truly hope this is helpful. If you can take one thing, if it's power pose or something from here that's useful, take it with my love. I've seen it all. I've seen it all. We're all different. I have the pleasure and the privilege of working with people and hearing their stories. We have different stories, different flavours of suffering, says Tony Robbins. However, we're fundamentally the same. We don't think we're flipping worthy. And just to add a little emotional blackmail a la Poppy Love, if and when you go to the mirror and you look at yourself with disdain and you judge yourself and wish something about you was different, remember this. There are wars going on, heinous, hideous wars going on planet Earth. And in my opinion, my hair's standing on end. Whenever that happens, I know this is so true. In my view, if there are wars going on outside of us, as above, so below, as within, so without. Warmongering goes on within us here. If there is warmongering here, there will be warmongering there. So what you can do is something I used to do, started with body dysmorphia and all the hideous things that we can have, is every time I look at myself with this hate, I'm part of the war. So my challenge to you would be to ask yourself frequently throughout the day, is this love, what I'm doing to myself and what I'm doing to others with my thoughts? Is it love? And to finish, Tony Robbins, brilliant man, whatever you say about him, he is a genius. Choose your focus, move your body, and be very mindful about the language you use about yourself, to other people, to yourself, and what you're saying directly to life. What we talk about, we invite more of. Invite the good stuff, my friend. Why not? If not you, who? Sending love. Like, follow, all the things. I'll see you again. Big love.